What is going on, everyone? Today I've got the Audi SQ5 and I've got 5 likes and 5 dislikes coming at you after spending a week with the vehicle, coming right up. Now before I get started with this, I want you to know that I have a full detailed review of this vehicle. I'll put the link in the description below. So if you want to see the details, more point of view shots, things like that, front and back seat, all that good stuff, be sure to check that out down below. But without further ado, let's get started. I'm going to do this a little bit different than I usually do. I'm going to do the dislikes first. Now, first of all, my dislike number 1, in no particular order, is the fact that there's 2 things actually, kind of part A and part B. One is that the auto start stop system is extremely aggressive. I've had it actually shut the car off before I even come to a complete stop. For example, I'll be going up a little hill and I'm going kind of slow coming to a stop, and it kills the car. The car is off. And then, of course, it'll turn back on if I want to kind of move up a little bit, but even coming to a stop on a flat surface, it just kills the car. It's off, and it's really annoying. So you can turn it off, thank goodness, but you have to turn it off every time you get in the vehicle. The part B to that is that the lane keeping system is really aggressive as well. You can adjust how quickly it adjusts, but I had a problem with the Volkswagen Jetta as well, where just lines on the road, like tar lines, things like that, boom, it'll jerk you over pretty abruptly. It does not follow the lane as well as I would expect for a $70,000 vehicle. Now, my dislike number 2 is something really small, and some of you probably really like this, but it's the fact that this moonroof here has a see-through sunshade, or a partially transparent sunshade. It's not a complete blackout type of cover, so when you have hot sun, bright days, there's still light coming through, even if you have this thing closed. And I have just part of it open right now. I'm gonna close it, but you can leave it open, you can have it closed. I just would like to see a complete blackout for the moonroof. My dislike number 3, another small thing, but it's the placement of the MMI touchpad controls and the volume control. So you can rest your hand on the shifter to use the touchpad controls, but you almost have to have a little crick in your wrist, a little slight flexion in your wrist, which just is not good ergonomically. I'd prefer it to be set up a little different somehow, or just get rid of that and just let us do a touchscreen, because the screen is literally right here. And then the volume control, if I have a passenger with me, their knees or their hands are right by that control. You smack their hand out of the way if you want to turn the volume up with that thing, or seek, even though you can do it on the steering wheel, but just a couple other small things. My dislike number 4 is something that a lot of you have complained about on other vehicles as well, as fake exhaust tips. So these are completely fake. There's nothing going through those simulated exhaust tips at all. Of course, it has an exhaust, but it's tucked away and hidden behind the bumper. There is nothing there. I can get that on a hybrid or on maybe just the regular Q5, but on the SQ5, the sporty car, we need some real exhaust tips that look cool, especially with the sound that that thing can make. My dislike number 5 is something I've complained about on other things, but there's no remote start on the key fob across the board. In fact, we're missing out on a couple luxury features that I would have expected to be standard, at least at certain points. One of them being the fact that the base model, it gives you push button start, but it doesn't actually give you the advanced smart key system, which is kind of weird. You can get it, and you get it on other models standard. Another thing is ventilated seats, you have to get the warm weather package. Heated rear seats, you have to get the cold weather package. Same with the heated steering wheel. And at $70,000 or about that, I'd expect some of those to be included. Now it's time for my likes, and those dislikes were all pretty small, nothing major, but for my likes, in no particular order, like number 1 is this 12.3-inch digital cockpit display. There's a couple different ways you can look at it, kind of more conventional or sportier, and I like both of them. I think that they both look great. There is a ton of information that you can see on there, and you can control everything with your steering wheel. So there's so much information, and even just this entire cockpit is pretty minimal with buttons, but there's tons of information and tons of things you can do with those buttons. So that's like number 1. My like number 2 is the Audi Drive Select with the adaptive air suspension. So you can adjust the suspension up for your lift, all road. You can have it on comfort, so it's a little softer, a little higher riding. Dynamic, so it drops you down and you get that agility that you want. So you can adjust the suspension for your drive type, and you can use a little star on the steering wheel to control that or control other things, but it's real quick and easy to go back and forth. And this car is a perfect balance of ride comfort. It's not the squishiest ride, but it's comfortable, but it's still very taut and handles very well. My like number 3 is the ambient lighting. So at nighttime, this car looks like a party. It's kind of like the VW Jetta as well, which some of you thought was gimmicky, but I really like the way that this looks. Audi has a few different colors for you to choose from. It's pretty bright. It lights up the cabin really well. You can have it adjust with your drive mode, and I think it's pretty cool. I honestly really like it. My passengers thought it was neat, and it even shows up in the back seat as well. My like number 4 is this quick and responsive transmission. So it's not a dual clutch. It's a Tiptronic torque converted automatic, but especially in sport mode and manual mode, so that didn't really give you a whole lot to look at for the transmission, but when you put it over in manual mode, you can downshift. It's quick. This car is quick, and the paddles respond very well. That's my most impressive thing with the transmission, is just how quick the manual setting is. You've got some nice downshifts, upshifts. It just performs very well, and it's fun to drive. And if you want to see more of that type of driving, go check out my full review down below. And then moving on to my last like, my like number 5 is that it's just a very pleasant vehicle to drive. 1, it's really fun. 2, it's comfortable, it's practical, it's pretty quiet. But most importantly, it's fun. I've had a blast driving this thing, no matter how I'm driving it. Comfort mode, dynamic mode, whatever. It's just fun. There's a lot of nice things about it. It's pretty quiet. I mean, there's just a lot to like about the SQ5. Now, it is getting kind of expensive for a vehicle this size and performance-wise, $70,000, but it's just a nice package, just kind of the complete package of practicality, comfort, performance, features, things like that. So those are my 5 likes and dislikes after spending about a week with the Audi SQ5. If you want to see the full review with a bunch more detail, please head to the description down below to check that out. But thank y'all so much for watching. Leave your comments below, give the video a thumbs up, and subscribe for more videos like this and full reviews. Thank y'all so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day.